Let's continue to use the sketch of y or fx equals to x squared, which is given by the red graph over here, and explore the transformation effect if I multiply an a value to the x coordinate. So if we are to take a look at the blue graph over here, you will notice that when I multiply by an a value, there is a negative half. The x coordinate changes respectively. Instead of a negative value, the graph actually scales, or rather stretches outwards along the x-axis, and the coordinate is multiplied by 2. And we can see another coordinate example given here on the original graph. If I do a scaling in this case of ax, you realize the x coordinate is multiplied by 2 from its original. So although this is negative, what happens is that the curve actually widens, or we call it specifically scaled by a factor. And in this case, what would the scale factor be? It would be a scale factor of 2. What happens now if a is equals to a negative 1 and we are going to multiply by the x coordinate by a negative 1? So obviously a negative x coordinate having such a transformation would be a reflection about the y-axis. So this is exactly what you see below. So such a transformation as this is interesting because we say that for an x value, x coordinate, and we multiply by a value a to the x coordinate, the scaling is actually a 1 over, and it's parallel to the x-axis as we've seen before. So what happens geometrically is the x coordinate is multiplied by a factor 1 over a. So if I am to say a scale factor of a that is a positive value, what happens to the x coordinate would be halved of its original. So this graph actually narrows itself down. But if a is now going to be a very small value such as 1 over 10, what happens to the coordinate is that the x coordinate will be multiplied by 10 instead. So this gives rise to a transformation that actually widens or stretches, or we call this scaled by a factor 10. So do take note and do use a graphing tool to explore the changes. And specifically, if a is a negative 1, this would give rise to a reflection about the y-axis.